And when he caught me running, a young boy, I was probably 9, 10 years old, he took me back to his office and then says, look at that wall. I want you to run to that wall when I say go. He says go, and I start running. He shoots the wall. Whoa. And he goes, you see how that laser got there before you? And I said, yeah. And he goes, that's because it's going at the speed of light. You think you're faster than the speed of light? And I said, no. And he said, then stop running. And he went in his office.
Said it. And he said, drop your pants.
People don't say hi in this city. There are no pleasantries exchanged. It kind of makes me sad.
Dylan, do you know how many times I open the door for someone or leave it open and they don't say thank you?
Yeah, and it's weird because I can't have it both ways because my heaven is not interacting with strangers, right? But I know that it's not good for me, you know? Mm-hmm. You have to say hi to people, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I was walking home the other night. I parked my car down behind the house because I don't want to get into that.
Well, let me point out something, Dylan, about human psychology. True happiness is as a result of interpersonal relationships. Just to shutter yourself in and disconnect from humanity, you'll be one of the most depressed people on the planet.
Yeah, big bummer.
We're as human beings, we were meant to interact.
Oh,
we're socialized.
Well, something I forgot to say is Nick got the virus that he was calling a big old freaking Aesop's fable the entire time.
Yeah, it bit him in the ass, didn't it?
Yeah, look at him. He's got 104-degree fever. He couldn't sleep last night. He was sweating so much. Lost his taste. What's up, Nick?
So let me tell you where this positive test came from.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree there's been a lull in the COVID news. We have Ukraine, and now there's a little lull in the national news story. Well, I got this at-home test sent to me for free without asking from the U.S. government.
Thanks, Joe Byron.
I get a little bit of a tickle, and I'm encouraged by my girlfriend, who has myriad medical problems, to take the test just in case. And I've never taken a COVID test. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, this line turns red immediately, and the government is getting me back for trying to expose the truth. I feel fine. One day later, I did sleep in a pool of my own sweat while getting up intermittently to shit my pants. But
okay, so let's break down this Jesse Ventura bunker in Ecuador shit right now. Okay, right? So Nick is surmising that Joe Byron gave him COVID via the test that Nick took. Now, how did
to be clear, he's just a figurehead puppet controlled by powers of be that are greater than I don't even know.
Sure.
I'm in charge. Come on. Come sit on.
Hey, man.
Sit on my back.
Give me pralines and cream, okay? My blood sugar's low.
I'm the nice one. Come on, eat a lollipop.
Okay, so how did you get the COVID though? So what, like
he walks around people.
No. He got it from the test. So what happened? Did it stab you a little bit and give you a little COVID? What happened?
Let's say everything I just said perhaps was a joke.
Right.
Almost satire.
Right.
Let's say, as I reminded you guys, I think this was on the Patreon only one where I told the incredible heroin story. Patreon.com/Another Podcast Network.
Oh my gosh. Nick went zombie hunting a couple weeks ago. We
got in San Francisco.
Yeah, you have to hear the story of Nick going sicko mode out in the streets of the Tenderloin district.
But after that story, I went to a bachelor party in Palm Springs where I told you I destroyed my body with alcohol.
Right.
And of course, both those nights you go to bed late, you get up early, and the only times in my life, you guys know I'm Wolverine and have an incredible immune system, rarely sick, never missing work.
I've seen all the movies. I don't remember him going to the bathroom every 2 hours.
I don't believe that.
That's because I expel sickness from my body. That's why I have so much stuff coming out. I sweat so much at night. I get rid of the disease. But point being...
I mean, you've had many ailments.
I did
many ailments over the course of our 10-year podcast.
I don't...
Sorry, Logan. I'm interrupting you. Go ahead.
for. I like that. I'm a different name every show. I was Hot Captain Jason earlier. I'm now Logan.
Yeah.
But that's all. I weaken my own immune system just to. You got to do it every once in a while. Strengthen it back up. I've already expelled the disease, but I don't want to expose my friends.
Got it. So your immunity was lowered because of your problem drinking at the bachelor party.
Yes.
So you don't have COVID.
No. He does have COVID.
Oh, okay.
But it's the same thing as the natural cold, and those are my real thoughts.
Now listen, we hey Logan, take it easy.
Cat tire's over.
So maybe the interpersonal pleasantries that are exchanged in this city were harmed because of COVID. You know, it
started before that.
I was in a car dealership today trying to shake somebody's hands. They were spooked out. I went to go buy natural wine last night. Tried to, soapbox really quickly. To all the natural wine merchants out there, stop trying to peddle Cab Franc. Okay, I don't like it. I tell you I don't like it. You ask me what I don't like about it. There are intangibles. I just know I don't like it. Don't say, have you had this Cab Franc? This is good Cab Franc, right? But I said goodbye to him, and he wouldn't shake my hand either. It was a dap, you know. And
well, some people don't want to shake hands, Dylan, because they know people are beaten off and not washing their hands, or they're wiping properly. Who knows what's on those things? You know what I mean?
Listen, I don't mind a dap. I think a dap's great every once in a while. But when you're at a car dealership, that is the arena of handshakes. You know?
They can make like $80,000 off you with all the interest on the loan and shit.
Yeah.
You should shake your hand.
Absolutely.
Just keep a bottle of hand sanitizer at his desk.
So anyways, I'm walking behind my house the other night, and I see this lovely young couple walking past me. And I go, how you doing? Nothing. Not a whiff.
Why would you do that? Maybe they think you're a zombie.
No, I'm a young working boy. I got out of my car with my backpack on, and I walked past them, and I said, "How you doing?"
I don't think this is a good example, Dylan, of people being horrible in Los Angeles.
Let me give you another example.
I actually agree with that one. They definitely heard you, Dylan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They definitely heard me.
I think that's rude, and I think that's a great example of what Dylan is trying to.
Thank you very much, Logan. Here's a different example. I'm walking into the apartment the other day, and my neighbor, he's wheeling out his green bin. And I go, trash day! And he doesn't say a fucking thing.
Bad example.
It's not a bad example. That is so.
Dylan,
do you understand how I felt after singing Trash Day and not getting any response?
Dylan, both examples.
My God.
People don't know where you're coming from. They could think you're mocking them. And I've known you for 8 years, and you do kind of have that vibe about you. So if you open the door for somebody going into 7-Eleven and you hold it for more than 2 seconds as they walk up, and they don't say thank you, that's an example of poor form, in my opinion. Walking by a stranger and just saying, how you doing?
Well, who made you the Grand Inquisitor, okay? I don't give a shit, okay? What I went through was a lack of interpersonal connection in this city, and it's very, very sad. Nick, what's going on with you, man?
Right now, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
And I should have been doing this, but I was trying to switch my Zoom background to something that would get a laugh, but I don't know how to do it, and I'm going to stop fidgeting.
So this is another podcast show. It's the show where we gab and goof and really talk about the truths of the medical community. My name's Dylan. I'm settled up next to one real Patrick Hickey.
Hi, everybody.
And Nick's over there with common cold.
Ahoy, mateys.
Can I be candid?
I forgot I was switching.
Yeah.
Can I be candid? I don't want to do this to my wife or my relationship. Not everything's on the table that I talk about.
Oh, you just got into a nasty brawl over chips.
It's not that nasty, but it's these little fights you have with your partner. This now my second argument I've had with my wife. We're going at it a little bit. We had one on Sunday, in which she said something mean to me earlier in the day. And then we were having a wonderful time. We were watching the MTV Movie Awards that were actually
She called you dickless, didn't she?
No. We're laying in bed. We're drinking wine. We're mocking Tayshia Adams, a former Bachelorette, as the newly anointed host of the MTV Movie Awards, even though no one knows who she is.
Right.
And we're having a great time mocking it. And then somehow she says, we had a great day. And I said, yeah, everything was great except for you were a little short with me in the car, and I don't appreciate that.
Right.
And then we have a little back and forth, and then I say, I pay for everything, and then she rolls her eyes. And then we go back and forth, and I said, I'm going to sleep in the living room. My dog Jackie follows me, so I know where his loyalties lie.
Right.
And I end up spending the night in a different room from my wife than I have in 5 years.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it. Excuse me. And then some technical difficulties happened earlier in the evening. By the way, we made up quickly in the morning. She called me. She just said, I'm sorry. I was short with you. You bored him?
Oh, sorry. I fell asleep.
Hold on. So I thought the fighting was over and we're not going to go at it for another 6 months.
Yeah.
We had some technical difficulties. I walked in the house to eat some chips.
Well, I mean, kind of burying the lead there.
Well, I walked into the house and I go in the kitchen. My wife's in the living room. She goes, are you eating my chips? And I said, well, I didn't know they were yours. And she said, well, I'm going to have those for dinner. And I said, oh, okay, fair enough. Then I open up another bag of chips, which is the spicy salsa chips. And she says, what are you eating? And I said, none of your business. And then, truth be told, little peek behind the... we had some technical problems, so I had to put a laptop computer in the freezer. I didn't think it was going to work. Conspiracy theory. Turns out it actually did work. My wife said, is that laptop sitting on my bag of ice in the freezer? I said, well, your ice. And I said, you've been up my ass all fucking day. And then she rolls her eyes, and I said, I pay for everything.
Okay,
So now I'm in a fight with my wife.
Let's talk about the efficacy of I pay for everything. But first, Logan has his hand raised.
And also just the efficacy of talking about this stuff on the free show. I don't
care anymore.
Okay, I do feel like it will deepen the chasm. But yes, but Dylan, what were you going to say?
Okay, so
I'm mad.
It's interesting, right? The I pay for everything burn.
Well, the point was I'm fucking exhausted. I'm doing 3 hours of podcasting after a day of regular work to pay for all the shit in the house. So when I go in and I open up a bag of fucking chips, I don't need you hassling me. I will stick my dirty, filthy fucking hands in those chips. I will throw them into my mouth and I will crunch away and you will say nothing.
Now, so we've covered this before. Your wife and food, it's a very, very...
territorial dilemma.
Yes, Cherie is like an ill-trained chihuahua when it comes to her food, despite what's mine is yours and that whole, racket, But do you think I pay for everything
is the right thing to say?
Yes.
No, it's not. It just came out of my mouth. It's one of those things where during an argument, when you start you have things prepared. Typically, when you argue with your partner, it's like the final arguments in a legal.
If it's a big enough argument, yeah, you run through run through scenarios.
On Sunday, the 11th, you walked in here and you can start doing the dates. And you got the receipts. No, it's like the final argument, right?
Yeah,
that's
Tom Cruise versus Jack.
I needed to be on that wall.
Yeah.
All right, I didn't mean to say I pay for everything, but I was so triggered that it just. Ooh. It spewed out of my mouth.
Right.
Because I'm working like a fucking dog. I honestly feel like I got 3 years left to live.
Yeah.
If I keep at this pace.
I feel that too. I am running on a Cliff Bar and Adderall right now. I'm very, very exhausted. And, we do work our tails off. We really work our buns off. And I think that you need to talk to Wendy Walsh about this. Because perhaps Cherie needs to go under some type of hypnosis treatment. I want to do it for smoking. I want to stop vaping. And I feel as though it is not an uphill battle, but rather a smooth 90-degree incline that I'm trying to get above. And I just can't do it. Cherie is like a rabid dog with her food, right?
But
maybe we need to snap that, because that sounds like 85% of your fights stem from
something
food
in
issues.
the refrigerator. By the
way, greenchef.com.
I mentioned that I put the laptop that we were trying to cool down so that because so many things are plugged into it, and this room is 180 degrees. For 10 minutes, she was mad that it was on her ice.
Well, Nick,
get over it, Cherie.
Oh well, I want to get back to the ice, but I also do want to pitch to Nick to see if he has any thoughts on this.
Oh, on the whole, I thought you were going to ask
you
kidding
question. Me?
No, I am listening the whole time. I know exactly what he said. I thought you were going to say, I'm going to pitch this to Nick.
Oh, right. Pitch like hot potato. Throw it over to you.
I think it is just a symptom of how run down you are. If anybody saw Pat's backyard for the last month and a half.
Looks like Aleppo.
Aleppo wish it looked like this.
I do think it was a little bit much considering this is Cherie's same behavior since the beginning of time. Don't touch her chips and don't put a laptop on her ice.
Yeah, so that begs the question, what's wrong with you? It's like somebody whose legs gotten blown off via landmine sprinting across the DMZ each and every morning to just get a little whiff of danger. I don't know why you think that you can stick your hand in this bear trap. You're going to lose every time.
Well, I don't know what I can touch in this house.
That was a crude metaphor. I didn't need to make it that crude.
Dylan, I walk into my house, I feel like I'm fucking a renter. Like I'm I need to talk to the landlord. Hey, is it okay if I put my bike out on the porch or some shit? Like I live here.
You guys jump in the comments. Let us know about your marital dispute.
Yeah. Hey, Nick.
Guys, I got to say this because she's all good soup for me. It's very sweet, but I was asked to wear a mask in my own apartment. I was like, "Are you shitting me?"
You and Jules? She asked you to wear a mask in your apartment? Now I'm starting to feel pretty good about my relationship.
I refused. We're fine, but it was asked. I was like, "You're vaccinated. It's not real. Masks don't work."
Dylan, what do you CC fight about? She want you to wear a mask to bed?
You know, when I was in Santa Barbara looking upon those dancers to that cover band,
when you were hanging out with your buddy
in the midst of that evening, we were speaking of our wives, and I told them, we're in one of these upticks right now. I'm so in love with her. It's unbelievable how much I love her. Mm-hmm. She's seeing clients. She's really crushing it. And when we got COVID, we just freaking French kissed for like 45 whole seconds. She was like, "I want it too, baby." And I said, "Hey, my computer's hot. Can I put it on your ice?" And she said, "My ice? It's our ice."
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking utopia, man.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. So speaking of that trip up to Santa Barbara, I wanted to run this past you guys. We went golfing at Glen Annie, an overpriced horse shit place. What's up?
I'm walking away, but I can hear.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're golfing at Glen Annie, and we get paired with two, no shade, but I mean ancient women. And
sorry to stop for 1 second. I'm always fascinated by this at golf courses when they, because they want to make sure they keep it moving, so they'll pair you up with complete strangers. Ultimately, the pairing is generally a group of four, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, the ideal situation is going out with a foursome.
Okay, and then there's different variations of skill set.
Oh my God, the gamut is so big. You can go out with, a couple of young wasps with tucked-in polos who are very, very good at golf.
It seems like it's rife for
catastrophe.
Yeah.
No, it is a roulette wheel of what is going to happen.
Can you pay extra not to have to do that?
Well, my thing is like if it is $100 tee time, right? And there are people that cannot carry their own bags to the golf cart
because they're so old.
I don't want to be ageist, but let's have secure. Let's not let these people on, right? They're going to hurt themselves, and worse, they're going to ruin my day. Mm-hmm. But they turned out to be very, very lovely. We had a great day with them. The problem was at the end, I learned something about the elderly. That they know much more than us, and regardless of what tees they're playing from and how fucking slow they are, and I don't want to get into it. But what I learned is that you need to be leery of the young. The youth are the
100%.
real problem. Dusty and I finish a round of 18, play very poorly, mid-90s, tough course, bad day, and we head to the first tee to pop a couple more holes in, right? We're not satiated. We want more of this.
You played 18 or you played 9?
Played 18.
That's impressive to me.
Love of the game. So we go back to the first tee. We want to pop off a couple more, right? And this youngster rolls up to the tees above us. Now, we were playing from the tips, so we did not want to be seen by the clubhouse. So we went down to the whites because the tips are in plain view of everybody. And so this young buck rolls up and he sees that we're down, and he pauses a little bit, and we've got a situation here. We've got a standoff.
Because he wants to go before you?
We don't know if he's got the tee time. We don't know if we're cutting him, and he's paid to. We don't know what's going on, but he drives.
But
down.
he's eyeballing.
He's eyeballing us, and we're eyeballing him. It's a Mexican standoff, and then he drives down and says, "Did you guys just play 18?" And we said, "Yeah, go ahead." And he said, "You got to check with the clubhouse if you're going to do a replay." And we said, "Oh yeah, no problem, we'll do that." So he tees off, right? And we wait. We pretend
like you're gonna wait him out.
Yeah, we're gonna wait.
He's gonna move on and forget all about being a rent-a-cop on your ass.
Yeah, exactly. Young buck, probably 21, 22 years old. He tees off. He's on the next hole, and we tee off. Okay, we play the hole, and I'm putting. Up comes the marshal. Now this marshal
ratted you out.
This marshal and us, we've established a rapport already. Okay, he felt very comfortable with us, so comfortable enough to express his displeasure with Asians on the golf course.
Oh, so he's already exhibited racism.
Yeah, plainly racist to me and Dusty.
Throw him $20.
Well, I honestly wanted to find a looking glass myself because I don't know what we put out that he would be so comfortable to just blatantly flame the entire Asian race.
It's all people, They say what
you
they
were
say.
white people at a golf course. That's
so. He rolls up on us and he goes, "Hey, did you guys already play 18?" We said yes. And he said,
"Why don't you lie and say we skipped 2?"
Because he knew.
Okay.
He knows. He's the marshal of the golf course. The hours made sense. The context made sense. He knew exactly what we were doing. We said, "We got to get out of here." And he said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, boys." And I said, "All right, no problem." We get in the car. He drives away. And I go, "Hang on a second." I turn the car around and I go up to him and I go, "Hey, did we get narked?" And he goes, "Pretty much." And Dusty goes, "Man, that kid's a rat, but he can play." And the marshal goes, "Yeah, no, he's a good kid." And I said, "Well, I don't fucking like him one bit." And we all had a chuckle and we drove away. But it gets back to, apologies for that very long tale. But
No, Dylan, let me graft something onto this.
yeah.
Because you were with Dusty, and I like Dusty. Dusty's a great guy. He makes me laugh all the time, every time I see him. If I was in that golf cart,
Yeah.
I would have insisted on tracking that young man down.
Right.
We would beat this on a technicality.
Yeah.
We would have been driving ahead of him on that said golf court.
Yeah.
And just doing donuts wherever he was golfing, completely ruin his experience for being a little bitch.
Right. Quite an arc.
And we would have settled that hash.
Yeah.
And I would have been gratified that night.
Well, here's the thing, though. We fled because we had things to do, okay? We had to go see a cover band at a brewery. But
playing Bruno.
But it got me thinking, it goes back to the Lassens conversation we had many moons ago where the guy gave me 99 cents instead of $1. And when I said, "Hey, can you just give me $1?" he said, "Can't open the register." What is with the allegiance to the place that you work? This kid's 21, 22 years old. He's getting paid minimum wage. Why do you care so much that you would not only tell us that we couldn't do what we were doing, but that you would find the marshal and alert him to the fact that we were breaking the rules? Now, I know he's young and he might be scared. He's got a good gig. He gets to play free golf once everybody's done. But I mean, my God, if I was 21, 22 years old, that just wasn't in me at that age. I would never do that.
I'm happy to hear you say that, Nick. If you have something to say, please jump in.
Kick it to Nicky. He's champing.
If I was 18 and I saw someone start playing again without paying, I would ask that person to buy me beer when they were done. You found an ally, another ne'er-do-well, a rapscallion.
Yes.
Let's get into some mischief. This
Thick
guy's
as
my
thieves.
hero.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I would not be wearing a fucking khakis and towel on it.
Yeah.
I am a man of a certain age.
Yeah.
And this is...
And what age is that?
In my late 40s.
You got it.
And one of the things that happens in your late 40s is now you start to reflect on your past. And I will often look back at moments in my late teens, interactions with other human beings, and there are a lot of regrets. I mean, I didn't kill anybody, but I was petty like this person. I'm not proud of those things, but I do. As you get older, one of the punishments is you look back at all your interactions. One day, this young man, maybe, if he's a human being, will look back and be like, why was I such a bitch?
Yeah, no. And
well, let me tell you a story.
Listen, hard B. I mean, he let's call him a narc, okay?
Okay. my sophomore year of college, I got out of the dorms and I moved into a like a small apartment complex. Some poor ass dude put his piece of shit car, like maybe it was on the property of the apartment complex, maybe it was next to it, and he put a for sale sign on it and there was a number there. I had to be 20. I got nothing to do. For some reason, I was so fucking petty. I called the dude and I said, hey, your piece of shit car is so fucking ugly and it's right outside my window and you didn't get permission to fucking put this car here. I like that you're disgusted by this. I said, get this the fuck out of here. You didn't ask anybody any permission for this. And I left the message on like the beep. We didn't have cell phones back then. Sure. About a half hour later, I look out my fucking window and the guy puts the poor sad sign in his car and then drives off in the sad car. I was this kid.
Yeah.
I am now 25 years on, still have that memory ingrained in my head.
Yeah.
Why the fuck were you such a douchebag?
Right,
you didn't need to do that to the guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he needed money. Maybe he was going through a bad divorce.
Right.
Sell the car.
Well, the thing
pay
is,
for food.
I do not have hope for this human being. I think that he's going to grow old and he's going to become Ebenezer. These kinds of stick up their butts in perpetuity kind of guys. Reminds me of a guy when I was a young boy playing laser tag at Ultrazone. I was running. One of the cardinal rules of that place is not to run. You must prone walk, maybe jog, but definitely not run. And when he caught me running, a young boy, I was probably 9, 10 years old, he took me back to his office. The worst crime of this entire part, because his office shatters the facade of this moon rock kind of crater thing that you're fighting in, right? His office is just fluorescently lit with papers, right? He's just a manager working back there. So he shatters the fantasy of this place, first and foremost, and then says, look at that wall. I want you to run to that wall when I say go. He says go, and I start running. He shoots the wall.
Whoa.
And he goes, you see how that laser got there before you? And I said, yeah. And he goes, that's because it's going at the speed of light. You think you're faster than the speed of light? And I said, no. And he said, then stop running. And he went in his
And he
office.
said it. And he said, drop your pants.
I think the lesson we're all
I
learning.
blocked that part out, but that's what this kid's going to grow up to be, man. Hopefully he changes. But what is with the allegiance to these professions? I mean, my God, dude, just calm down.
It happens in every profession.
Yeah,
you work
it
at a
does.
restaurant and someone will be like, hey, boss, I don't know if you knew this, but Tony's sneaking French fries in the freezer on his break. Right. Like, everyone's a fucking rat. Right. Everyone's a fucking rat.
Yeah.
Like, smarten up. Leave people alone.
Yeah, let live, you know? You know what I mean? So,
So that guy's a douchebag.
yeah, I mean, I just wonder. I was just struck by that. I mean, unbelievable that he was such a narc. Nick.
What's going on? What do I have?
Yeah, what do you want to talk about?
No. I want to ask him this. So, Nick, when I said I was going to get you soup earlier today, did you register that, and did you want the soup?
Matzo ball.
I would have been pleasantly surprised about the soup, but I didn't want to make a to-do about it. Be like, yes, please give me soup, you know?
Right. But you did want the soup.
I don't even know if I want the soup. I've never had it. I'm intrigued.
Matzo ball soup.
You've never had matzo ball soup?
I have not.
Well, what is Jules going to get you right now?
I don't know.
What is she? If she comes back with some type of spicy...
She's back.
Will you please go check the soup?
I will.
Go check the soup.
You forgot, you told someone you're going to drop off soup for them and you didn't do it?
No.
Well,
I did not respond. It was a question. He said, would you like some soup? And I ghosted him.
I think that I said, well, send some soup over or something like that.
Yeah, you did.
And he did not respond. And I just wanted to see if that was hurtful to him that I did not send soup, because I think it's a lovely gesture when
you brought it up.
When somebody's sick, to send them a little matzo ball, and I will get that over to him. What was the kind of soup, Nick?
She's walking Chewy. We may have to cut that math thing. She's being so sweet.
So, Nick, what have you brought this evening? Evidently, we have some street beefs. And the screen also, I just want to give you a heads up. I don't know if you can see this, but it does look like you're hacking into some kind of mainframe here.
He looks like Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman's character is like, you can't do this anymore, Batman.
Yeah.
You know?
You're Morgan Freeman.
But I will say it's because I was using the natural light. That's probably way better.
Well, I mean, the problem is that you've got OBS and your Finder up on the left here, and that's what really looks like you're hacking the mainframe.
ABS?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
All right, so my street beefs, haven't done it in a while because I guess I stole the name, but the other street beefs is usually about fighting and people on the streets fighting who have beef, and mine is usually stuff that doesn't really have to do with fighting,
right?
And we make it a fight. Street Beefs update. Who's the autistic guy that doesn't like Brooks Koepka?
Bryson DeChambeau.
Bryson DeChambeau.
Asperger's.
Is one of the many. Asperger's. Which I think actually that's been retired. This guy
oh my God. Are we talking live? Are we talking fucking live right now?
We're talking live. That's not actually what I was going to bring up. This was a very quick nugget that he is being offered money from live. I think he is going.
Yes.
Leaving the PGA. It's a PGA investment competitor. They offered Tiger Woods nearly $1 billion, and he turned it down. I believe Nike wouldn't have it.
So the live story is absolutely fascinating because there is the PGA Tour, the grand arbiter of golf. They have some business practices that aren't, favored by a lot of people.
Like what?
Well, like golf is one of the few sports that you can go broke being a pro in. You have to fly yourself out to all of the tournaments. You have to pay for the caddy. You got to pay for lodging. If you're like 150th ranked guy and you're just like missing cuts, you could go broke being a professional golfer having your card. It's not likely to happen. But so people are a little bit pissed off at this. To put it into perspective, Dustin Johnson just got paid $125 million to hop on over to this fucking blood money funded Saudi live tournament. And Tiger Woods' entire career earnings on the PGA Tour was just $121 million.
Well, he made money through endorsements.
Of course, but the rub is these guys don't think they're getting paid enough by the tour. So these fucking filthy...
You're paid what your worth is.
These fucking filthy Saudi pieces of shit, and I don't call them filthy for any... I'm so in my head with 2022 shit. They're fucking horrible people who do horrible fucking things like bomb innocent people in Yemen and fucking...
Hold on, Dylan. That's the government. The people, the business structure that's paying this golfer to...
It's the Saudi royal family. It's all the inside shit in the Saudi empire. What are you talking about?
You wouldn't take that money?
Pat, no, make no mistake. This is a giant money laundering operation on a grandest scale for filthy, filthy oil money that is drenched in blood.
Patrick, how could you not know this? These are bad people. The World Cup, sure, it's various bodies, but let's not mince words.
Well, maybe they're trying a new business operation to focus on golf in Saudi Arabia.
So, anyways, all these fucking losers on tour like Kevin Na and Sergio Garcia and DJ to a certain extent. He's good, but he can fuck off. They're all hopping over to live, right?
That's the Saudi Arabia thing.
That's the Saudi Arabia thing. And the PGA is like, you know what? If you do that, we are banning you from the Masters. Now, this has not yet been gavel-gavelled. But my gosh, come the time you hear that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful progression.
So a bunch of people...
It's going to go down when we get to Augusta. It's going to be bad.
So people are taking the money.
Yeah.
And they're thinking, hey, what the fuck? I'm going to blow out my fucking knee, get on pain meds, and roll down a hill in Palos Verdes in 20 years. Why don't I just take the $125 million?
Yeah.
I take the fucking money. It's golf. You're putting a little fucking ball on the ground and you're smacking it away.
Right.
People applaud.
Right.
18 holes and then you blow out your body. Fuck that.
Right.
Take the money. Go with live. Jesus Christ, I feel like an agent right now. Fuck both of you for not letting them take the money. They'll play 3 years and they'll fly back here and buy a house in Malibu and have a bunch of kids. Leave them alone.
Nick, what are your thoughts on this? Would you take the blood money that Pat is so eager to have these people take?
I just ask if the PGA would protect me, and then I'd speak out, and then hopefully get like a bunch of money behind the scenes, and then one day become like a decision maker on a real world scale.
Right.
Everything's fucking blood money, Dylan.
But what was the street beef you were talking about?
This was a big one. Fern Gully versus Aladdin.
Oh my God! How are the two being compared to one another, and how the fuck does this relate to
golf?
I tried to mention it a couple times with the who's the guy with Asperger's?
Bryson DeChambeau, yeah.
It's just very brief update on a past street beef. I try to just say like that real quick that he's leaving.
Oh, got it. Oh my God.
But ultimately, the real street beef I wanted to talk to was Fern Gully versus Aladdin.
Yeah.
Both animated classics, early 90s. Fern Gully, 1992. Well, not as successful as Aladdin, is truly known as a cult classic and very prescient as a sign of what we're doing to Mother Gaia, as Dylan would say.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
both starring Robin Williams.
When I was 5 years old, that I had been, they were shoving environmentalist propaganda down my throat.
Yeah. It's getting political, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's not. That's an aside. I didn't realize that, but they were. But beautiful film, nonetheless. Animation ahead of its time.
Right.
Because they stole the Disney animators, and I never noticed it until I watched it today, in a bit of nostalgia in my COVID delirium that the government gave me to punish me for trying to expose the truth. So there is striking differences in some of the character developments. And it was a real thorn in Jeffrey Katzenberger, more currently today known as the guy who started Quibi and burned a couple people money.
Like $1 billion.
Millions of,
yeah, and you can just call him Jeffrey Katzenberg. You don't need to make him more Jewish.
Oh, I just read the article today.
I don't know. What's his fucking name? Jeffrey Katzenberger.
He called Rick Caruso a bully in the Washington Times.
He did?
Yeah.
The Washington Times?
Yeah.
So let's look at Krista. I mean, this one isn't as striking as some of them, but you will see that Krista.
What?
Not working right now.
Krista, what? Looks like Jasmine? Get the fuck out of here.
Krista looks like, she doesn't look as much like, but she does sound like her.
Oh, stop.
So Jasmine and her, it's more in the face, and it's obviously much more polished. They've updated Jasmine, so you won't see the differences much. I'm going to skip right ahead to the two nail in the coffins and only go one screen.
Yeah.
That's what's fucking everything up right now. Yeah.
Are you talking about Jafar and the ooze monster?
No, I'm talking about the father in Fern Gully.
Oh.
Looks and sounds exactly like
Jasmine's dad. Yeah. Wow.
The Sultan from the original Aladdin. It's the same guy. And also, the big kicker, the thing that really pissed off Jeffrey Katzenberg more than the animation itself was the comic relief that 20th Century had actually gotten to before Disney, and that was the voice of Robin Williams.
Right.
Who played the bat who hated humans, but was actually quite the truth sayer, as was his counterpart, Disney, the genie.
Wait, okay, so what happened here? So who bit the apple first? Did Fern Gully come out before Aladdin? No, right?
After.
And I did pull it out of the holster pretty quick, so I don't know the exact timeline, but I think, honestly, 20th Century Snake,
it's Googleable.
No.
I feel like we would be vamping too long. How about cliffhanger? We'll have Street Beefs Part 2, Fern Gully.
Aladdin, I just Googled it. Aladdin came out in 2019. Fern Gully came out in 1992. Buttoned up, shut, closed. So
I didn't know that was the simple question we were wondering is what year they came out.
Yeah. No, they both came out in 1992. So there was, I would imagine, some studio drama right around the time these both movies were getting greenlit. I imagine agents were having a bit of a hissy fit going, I've got Rob and he wants to do these 2 animated projects. I mean, this sounds like it probably got juicy in the early 90s.
Well, Nick, didn't you mention you forced an accusation that apparently they'd stolen, Fern Gully, the production had stolen animators from Aladdin. So it did happen.
Yes.
Wow.
It absolutely did. And
Now-
Jeffrey Katzenberger was pissed.
Now-
There's an article about it.
But
I first noticed it just watching it today in a fit of nostalgia from the disease that the government gave me from trying to expose the truth. And I watched Fern Gully and noticed this thing. And then I started to look it up and look at Cinema Blend, one of the most noted publications in cinema.
Yeah. Oh, they included the subtitle
Article
too,
about it.
the last rainforest.
Can I maybe bookend this bit? I know Nick has COVID or something, but I do believe we're over the pandemic. And one reason I believe that is because we're spending our time debating this.
Shut up, man. This is an important debate,
I
especially
totally get
to
it.
millennials, okay? If this was about, I don't know, what fucking, I don't know. What's the stuff you watched? Gumby? What did you watch when you were a kid?
Jesus Christ.
What'd you
I'm
watch?
not that old, you bastard.
What'd you watch?
Watch the Smurfs.
So you watched the Smurfs, but me and Nick were watching Aladdin and Fern Gully. Now, Fern Gully is a very, very...
I watched Smurfs.
Fern Gully is a seminal film for me as a young boy. And it fit into the patterning of my life, really. I think it might be why I became what you two perceive as a hipster, It was not my choice. It was forced upon me. I had Sega, I had PlayStation. I didn't have Nintendo and N64. Sure, Aladdin was a mainstay, but Fern Gully was very, very important to my family. Perhaps because my parents are both kind of hippies at heart, and they found the message of fighting against the encroachment of industry upon beautiful pockets of nature truly horrific, something that they wanted to imbue in me as a young boy. But I gotta tell you, the music in Fern Gully, magnificent. The animation, magnificent. The ooze monster, voiced by Tim Curry, really, really haunting
Hexus.
bad guy. Unbelievable.
Hexus.
Oh.
I mean, just so... I can still see it in my head, the crude way they go about spray painting the X's on the trees and the caterpillars with saws coming in and sawing them in half. And this young man, Zach Young, a man who works for the man chopping down these trees, turned into a fairy himself.
I'm not familiar with the
And
film.
look how much he looks like Aladdin.
All right, that's been it for us. Jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews and leave 5 stars only. Before we go, Nick, last thoughts?
And these are quick. You're going to laugh. But look how much that guy looks like Aladdin.
No, it doesn't look like Aladdin. Everybody looks like Aladdin that was drawn. This is the way that every character was drawn in the 90s. They all look like this.
It's the same animator. Do you want me to go back to the father? We don't have to get into it. That looks like Aladdin. You didn't watch the film today. I did.
Yeah.
And the reason that triggered my memory about Fern Gully was when our aforementioned camping stories, and I was talking about Beaver Creek State Park in Caledonia, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Every time we'd watch across one of the bridges and the creeks, we'd be like, oh, it looks like Fern Gully.
Yeah.
That was one of my pleasant memories from childhood, and that I'm done.
You know,
My voyage.
you know what we got to do? You got to pop that movie on for young Ellie and watch. No, you won't, but I want you to. And you know what? Honestly, it's about time you start taking some of my recommendations because you recommend just shit constantly. And I don't know why you can't pop on Fern Gully. Hey, honey, we're wrapping up right now. We're talking about Fern Gully. It's very, very heated. Can you grab me? Because I don't have the car. Please. All right, love you. I mean, we're just doing so good.
Yeah.
So anyways, jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews, jump in the comments, join us on Patreon for another one of these each and every week. We love you guys very much for listening. Go subscribe to Bill Maher because Pat's going to take him down soon and he'll have no content. So get it while it's hot. We love you very much. Everybody wish Nick well wishes. He'll be over this fake virus by the time this comes out, but still send him thoughts and prayers. We love you guys very much for listening. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.